Good evening. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park. I'm Mayor Bianca Motley Broom. It is 7:30 p.m. At this time, we do not have a quorum present. Council members Clay and Allen are present, so I cannot call the meeting to order at this time. We received word from Councilmember Gay earlier today that for medical purposes he would not be present, and Councilmember Carn called and said he would not be in attendance either. Mr. Hawthorne, do we have any additional information in regard to Councilmember Carn?
No, Mayor.
Okay. So, unfortunately, we will not be able to conduct the business that requires action by this body because we do not have a quorum present. But we do have, at the close of this year, lots of people to recognize, and so we will support and embrace all the folks who are here for proclamations and give the community an opportunity to speak if they wish. But we will go ahead and start with an invocation, and that will be from Chaplain Stewart.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council.
Good evening.
Let us pray. Most Holy Father, in Jesus' name, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for the City of College Park Mayor, City Council, and citizens. We pray that your spirit would rest upon this council as they represent our community. We pray for skillful and godly wisdom. We thank you for our employees and our contractors who contribute to the success of our city. We pray that all wicked intentions be dismantled and that you get the glory out of all decisions that are made. We thank you that the hearts of our leaders are in your hand and that their decisions are divinely directed by you and that your word prevails. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
So we've got a number of proclamations, and so we'll handle those at this time. I believe council members Clay and Allen have a number to do for their appointees to the boards, but I'll do the general ones. So we will get to it. So first off, we are going to be recognizing the College Park Volleyball team. So come on up.
Step back up on the steps. It's not very crowded.
Whereas the College Park 14 and under volleyball team traveled to Dalton, Georgia for the Georgia Recreation and Parks Association State Volleyball Tournament on the weekend of November 10th through 11th, 2023. And whereas the 14 and under team was the third volleyball team to enter the GRPA State Volleyball Tournament for the City of College Parks Recreation and Cultural Arts Department. And whereas in the GRPA Volleyball State Tournament, the team won the 14 and under state championships. Not one, not two, but 3 years in a row, 2020. 2021, 2022, and 2023. And whereas the College Park volleyball team consisted of 11 athletes to include Journey Boone, Delaney Cobble, Mila Darby, Tamia Delaveau, Gabrielle Filifo, Ariel Jackson, Alyssa Mitchell, Malia Sidagata, Azarea Streeter, Micaiah Sweeney, and Alana Williams. And whereas the College Park volleyball team was coached by Catherine Murray, owner of Dream Chasers Club Volleyball Incorporated, and assistant coach is Khadijah Sweeney, and now therefore be it proclaimed by the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park that the College Park 14 and under volleyball team is recognized for their hard work, their dedication, and their accomplishments during the competitive 2023 season at the local and state level of competition, proclaimed this 4th day of December, 2023. That's right. Parents, come on down and take pictures.
Yeah, let her stay there, but when you come this way, just move on to where we can see everybody. Just quick, come around. Ambos, come around one at a time. Yeah. What you got your hand?
Okay, sorry about that.
Here you go, Gordon. Again. That's good.
Hold on there. Not right down. All right.
Thank you.
All right, everybody got the pictures? All right. Congratulations.
Thanks for everything.
Next up, we have the 8 and under flag football team. But I think we've got a little bit of a log jam in the lobby. Okay. Yeah, we'll be getting pictures. You want to put it? You can put it. All right. Whole team? All right. Whereas the College Park 8 and under blue flag football team won the Youth National Football League Flag Football Championship game on Saturday, November 4th, 2023 in East Point, Georgia. And whereas the 8 and under team finished the season with an undefeated record of 11 and 0. Including a 3 and 0 record in the playoffs. And whereas the team competed with 11 players to include Jonathan Atkins II, Cameron Ellis, Cameron Goss, Braden Kelly, Allie Love, Ava Love, Shane Massengale, Anderson Northern, Levi Price, Jaleel Rasul, and Ace Thomas. And whereas the team was coached by Calvin Goss III, Brian Kelly, Crystal Meeks, Damian Northern, and BJ Thomas. And now therefore be it proclaimed by the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park, Georgia, that the College Park 8 and under flag football team is recognized for their hard work, dedication, and their accomplishments during the competitive 2023 season at the local and state level of competition. Proclaimed this 4th day of December, 2023.
sort of okay. Here you go, buddy. Yeah. One more time. Good.
Okay, wait, hold on. Don't move because we
Come on
need
down,
to
take
take
pictures.
pictures. All right. Nine U. Next up, we've got the College Park Rams 9U football team. And they are carrying a trophy.
Go down one more session.
We do.
Congratulations, guys.
See y'all.
Whereas the College Park Rams Youth Football Program is a part of the Georgia Municipal Youth Football League, founded in 2022 and comprised of like-minded directors that are run by city and/or county recreation departments. And whereas the College Park Rams Youth Football Program season ran from June 2023 through November of 2023, servicing over 200 youth with teams ages 5 to 11. And whereas the College Park Rams Youth Football Program had 6 out of 8 teams qualify for the Georgia Municipal Youth Football League playoffs. Out of those 6 teams, the 6U, 7U, and 9U teams advanced to the Georgia Municipal Youth Football League Championship game. And whereas on November 18th, 2023, College Park Rams 9U football team finished off a perfect 11-0 season, winning the Georgia Municipal Youth Football League Championship by a score of, wait, what was the score? What was the score? 25-0, right? You shut him out. You shut him out. 25-0 against the North Henry Tigers in Griffin, Georgia. Whereas the College Park 9U Rams team consisted of 26 players, to include Terrian Fonfield, Mackay Henderson, Prince Bethal, Levi Askew, Jaden Jackson, Kingston Johnson, Bryson Arnold, Ryder White, Damari Arnold, Dimitri Wright, Otto Taylor III, Malachi Favors, Brent Polnitz, Aaron Stewart, Lorenzo Harris Jr., Cameron Washington, Blake Cudger, Cameron Duncan, Terrell Simmons III, Derek Walker, Nicholas McWillis, Cameron Leonard, Aaron Clark, Vance Bryant Jr., Michael Brooks Jr., and Amari Hawkins. And whereas the College Park 9U Rams team was coached by Mario Arnold, Antoine Jackson, Sidney Sutton, Preston McCrary, Corey Bethal, Rod Sweeting, Otto Taylor II, along with team moms Sierra Arnold and Monique Daniels. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park that the 9U College Park Rams football team is recognized for their hard work, dedication, and their accomplishments as the 9U champions of the Georgia Municipal Youth Football League. Y'all, you shut them out. You didn't let them score a point in that final. Proclaim this 4th date of December, 2023. There's one other development that's not in this proclamation.
We're going to compete in the Nationals this week in Panama City. We start play on Thursday through Sunday, so wish us luck.
Man, right there. Yeah. Step either way. That's good. Here we go, group, looking right here. Again. Last time. We're good.
Can we just give all of our teams one more big hand?
Sign over here to clean that. John, you got it.
All right, so the last proclamation that I'll be reading is a bit of a shift, but a very important topic, and I believe that the folks who were here to receive it got caught in traffic. So, but I still want to read it to make sure that everyone is aware, because December is Sudden Cardiac Arrest Survival Awareness Month. All right. Whereas heart disease is a leading cause of death worldwide, according to the World Health Organization, nationwide, according to the Center for Disease Control, statewide, and for Fulton County, according to the Georgia Department of Public Health, year in and year out. And whereas sudden cardiac arrest is defined as a person unresponsive, not breathing or not breathing normally and collapsing suddenly without warning, or in less than 1 hour from onset of a warning symptom or distress. And whereas anyone can experience sudden cardiac arrest, including infants, high school athletes, and people in their 30s and 40s who have no sign of heart disease. Sudden cardiac arrest impacts all socioeconomic levels and communities in the city of College Park, regardless of race, ethnicity, gender, age, income, educational achievement, or place of residence. And whereas CPR and early early defibrillation with an AED more than double the chances that a victim will survive if administered in time. Should a citizen be called upon to provide CPR, it will most likely be on a person who lives in, near, or is visiting their home, as 70% of sudden cardiac arrests occur in a residence. An estimated 35,600 lives are saved a year in the United States because a sudden cardiac arrest was recognized. And whereas the City of College Park supports efforts to educate and engage citizens about sudden cardiac arrest survival and to raise awareness about the risk of sudden cardiac arrest, identifying warning signs and the need to seek medical attention in a timely manner, and acknowledges the critical importance that sudden cardiac arrest survival awareness serves to achieve better outcomes. And whereas more incidents of sudden cardiac arrest occur in the winter months than any other time of the year, the City of College Park calls on the citizens, community stakeholders, and departments of the City of College Park government to observe this December as Sudden Cardiac Arrest Survival Awareness Month with appropriate programs and activities. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Mayor of the City of College Park that we do hereby recognize Sudden Cardiac Arrest Survival Month, proclaimed this 4th day of December, 2023. So, the holidays are often a joyful time to celebrate a lot of things, but please do make sure that we are keeping all of our neighbors and friends aware of some of the pitfalls. But I will turn it over to our Mayor Pro Tem to do a series of proclamations at this time.
Well, good evening, everybody. The light is dim and the print is small. So I'm going to reorder the proclamations a little bit here, if you'll bear with me for a minute. And I would like to, I'll explain why in a minute. Okay. Trick is to manage all these and not get myself in a lot of trouble by spilling things on them. Okay, first proclamation, and Jamal, I know you have to leave for another engagement tonight, but we wanted to have the opportunity to give this to you, so why don't you come on up. Why don't you get over here and I'll be close to the microphone. Okay, so Jamal has been active in so many things in the city, and I think you may be getting another proclamation at some point, possibly tomorrow or later on, I'm not sure. But this one is primarily for your VITA experience. And it's long. She's had a whole lot of jobs in the city of College Park. So the City of College Park proclamation recognizes Ms. Jamal McKenzie. Whereas Jamal McKenzie has served as a member of VITA from 2018 through 2023, She served 2 consecutive terms as Secretary-Treasurer and 2 consecutive terms as Chairman. Jamal has shown her continued commitment to the economic development and quality of life for College Park residents through her support and recruitment of new and existing businesses throughout the city of College Park. And whereas, over her tenure as VITA member with a 100% attendance record, 100%. Jamal has attended more than 90 ribbon cuttings, groundbreakings, and grand openings. During her leadership as VITA Secretary, Treasurer, and Chairman, Jamal has led in securing the largest issuance of multiple bonds on behalf of the city of College Park, totaling $330,830,000, as well as oversight of the 98,311 plus acre 6 West development. And whereas, as a trusted steward of the community, Jamal's voting record on VITA reflects only voting in favor of land sales and development geared at improving the landscape and physical and financial conditions of College Park, and voting against projects that would not benefit the general welfare of our citizens. And whereas, to develop a more sustainable financial professional development authority board, Jamal led the charge in 2021 to create standard operating procedures, we used to call those SOPs, for the VITA in collaboration with Six Sigma business principles. Jamal completed all required training for Development Authority members, as well as advanced Development Authority training through the Carl Vinson Institute of Government at the University of Georgia. And whereas Jamal's professional yet amicable, intuitive leadership style during her tenure as chairman allowed her to work harmoniously with all members of the authority, as well as city staff, contractors, and local elected officials, resulting in the VITA's first strategic retreat. Jamal led the charge in reviving and reinstating the annual VITA Awards reception in 2021, which had been discontinued in 2022 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And we were all kind of sluggish coming out of that pandemic, and we needed a spark plug to give us a little jolt to get us moving again. As an entrepreneur and business owner, Jamal was adamant about the importance of recognizing the significant contributions and attainments of local businesses and community organizations. This decision greatly improved the morale and involvement of our business community, as well as promoted awareness of the existence and accomplishments of these business and legacy residents. And whereas Jamal has excelled tremendously and given back to the city of College Park like none other, we are forever grateful for her service contributions and unswerving commitment to the city's Business Industrial Development Authority. Now therefore, be it proclaimed by the mayor and city of the council and City of College Park, Georgia, we do hereby recognize Jamal McKenzie, proclaimed this 4th day of December 2023.
First, I'd like to say thank you to my councilman, Ambrose Clay, for seeing fit to actually make sure that this was given to me. I'm humbled, I'm honored. I love the city of College Park, and I believe that some of the things reflect that were said, and I'm truly grateful. I would be remiss if I did not take this moment to thank the wind beneath my wings. The only reason that I'm able to do what I do aside from God is this man that I married, Jeffrey McKenzie. I have to thank my husband financially, spiritually, socially, emotionally, physically, and mentally. This man has supported me from the moment that we met, and I am so grateful to you, honey, because even now I've got another sleeves that are being rolled up in this city to do more. People ask why I wasn't at council meetings. It's because I've been attending council meetings for 7.5 years, and I only have a few weeks before January when I plan to attend every single council meeting to spend with my husband. He will not have me on Mondays, and I won't have a choice as to whether or not I am to be in attendance. And we're leaving after this to go to an event that his pilot organization is hosting tonight. So I can't stay with you, but I do appreciate each and every one of you. I want to say to Celissa Jefferson, Anita Cadis, and Tasha Hall Garrison, who I'm looking at right now, and all the members of BIDA who I've served with over the years, Demetrius, Eleanor, thank you. Thank you, because we could not do what we did on BIDA without you. And every person counts. So thank you so much. Everyone, I love you, and I'm looking forward to the next 4 years.
Can't step this way, just keep us.
He's too big. He's too big.
We're talking about you.
Okay, it's going to fall out, but I'm
Here we go. Yeah. Last time, that's good.
Okay, I believe I saw Sherry Godfrey in the audience somewhere. Sherry, are you here?
She's back.
Sherry's my next door neighbor, moved 2 houses down, but 3 houses down. Depending on how you count, but still a neighbor. City of College Park proclamation recognizing Sherry Godfrey. Whereas we recognize Sherry Godfrey for her unwavering commitment and valuable contributions to the City of College Park. And whereas Sherry Godfrey, a seasoned attorney with over 20 years of experience and 17 years in project management, is adept at taking on missions and seeing them through to fruition. In her role as a senior project manager with IST Management, Ms. Godfrey is entrusted to leverage data analytics and metrics to manage productivity, align project scopes, and prioritize tasks within the dynamic realm of e-discovery and litigation. That's quite a mouthful. Whereas Sherry Godfrey has applied her skills from her education and professional background to serve on several boards in the City of College Park. Notably, she keeps on Keep College Park Beautiful, serves on Keep College Park Beautiful as Mayor Botley Broom's appointee, and the Destination Marketing Organization as the Ward 1 appointee under Councilman Ambrose Clay. Now then, during her service on the DMO board, Mrs. Godfrey was offered the opportunity to transfer to the Business and Development Industrial Authority as Councilman Clay's appointee. She replaced Jamal McKenzie when Jamal came off the board to run for election. Whereas Sherry Godfrey contributions does not stop with the city. Mrs. Godfrey commitments extend out into the community as well as she actually engages with her fellow residents. As a member of the College Park Women's Club, Mrs. Godfrey has been an active member and has served previously as the auditor and now serves as the second vice president. And whereas Sherry Godfrey has shown remarkable leadership abilities with excellent communication and problem-solving skills in areas and board she has been appointed to. We are forever grateful for her willingness to serve. And I can speak very specifically to that because I moved Sherry around and she said, sure, I'll go. Now therefore, be it proclaimed by the mayor and city council of the city of College Park, we hereby recognize Mrs. Sherry Godfrey, proclaimed this day, 4th day of December 2023.
Come on back here.
Come on back.
We're here too.
Come on back. Come on back.
Where's your husband? Get your husband.
You want to come down?
Randy,
Randy.
Randy Godfrey.
No, you're right. You're right in front. Okay. Hey, there he is. You didn't know you were going to get dragged into this, did you, Randy?
I know.
You could come this way. You know, that's that. You go. Last time. You good?
I'm going to save this one for later. And this one.
Some people can take a break from the career.
Ken's got a bunch too. Cassim, are you here? There he is, Cassim Lpo. Welcome aboard. City of College Park proclamation recognizing Cassim Lpo. Whereas Cassim Lpo stands as an exemplary figure lauded for his outstanding contributions to the city of College Park, Georgia. Serving as a strategic advisor, he brings invaluable expertise to the forefront, focusing on the development of scalable operations, the establishment of strategic partnerships, and the facilitation of investments for nonprofits and small businesses. And whereas in the year 2000, while currently employed with AT&T, Cassim Lpo earned his Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering. His role included overseeing the installation of DC power equipment worth over $1 million in the central offices across the Atlantic and Northeast regions. Further enhancing his credentials, Mr. Lpo obtained his Master's of Business Administration in 2009. Subsequently, as the Executive Director of Horizons National, he orchestrated a successful growth plan, tripling the size of the region and budget over a 5-year period. And whereas demonstrating a deep commitment to community service, Mr. Lpo has actively participated on various boards, including the College Park Historical Society Board of Directors and the Planning Commission for the City of College Park as Councilman Ambrose Clay's appointee. And whereas founding the KAL firm, an advisory entity specializing in social impact solutions, Mr. Lpo extends his influence to nonprofits, foundations, corporate social responsibility departments, and philanthropists. His clients, all driven by a shared ambition to make a positive mark on the world, benefit from his visionary guidance. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the mayor and the city of College Park and the city of College Park, Georgia, mayor and council of the city of College Park, Georgia, do hereby recognize Mr. Cassim Lpo, proclaim this 4th day of December 2023.
I typically don't say much at the council meetings, but I would be remiss if I didn't, first and foremost, thank Councilman Clay for the opportunity to be a leader in the community. I'm sure Jamal can speak to how important it is to have a council member that doesn't care just about them leading, and they want to actually help support new leadership in the community. And so thank you for the opportunity to learn about the city as we were also acting as leaders in the city. I definitely want to thank Mayor Broom, Mayor Allen, Councilman Allen, just for your dedication and commitment to the community. It does get us really excited to lead when we know we have council members that are participating in this process of leading the city forward. I also want to thank my fellow commission members. I don't know if many of them are here, but it was an honor to serve. I think I see Tangi Warrior in the back there. It's been an honor to serve for 4 years. I think, and again, I will turn to Jamal and other people, even staff. Leading during the pandemic was super difficult. And so I have a deep appreciation for my colleagues being in the trenches with me during that process, because it was really difficult. So I just want to honor commission members, VITA members, zone board members, staff. It was really difficult during those times, and so I appreciate the efforts that everyone put in during those periods. And last but not least, I think we can all say that our families make a lot of sacrifices for us to lead. And I'd love for my family, my lovely family, to come up for photos, but they are definitely the anchor of the family. I think many of you all know that I have a very hectic professional and civic schedule, serving on several boards, but I do try to make time for soccer practice and all those other things that make for a fun family experience. So all I would lastly say is that I just encourage everyone as we go into 2024 that we continue to keep this energy moving for this city. This city is very important to all of us, and as we go into this a new year with new leadership and new ideas, let's all collectively come together to support each other for the betterment of the city. While leadership is important, what I most remember about this gentleman here and this woman back here is that they always stopped by the house when we first got here and were willing to see how we were doing. And sometimes that's more important than what position that you have in the city. And that's what makes College Park so special. So let's continue that if we can as we go into the new year. Thank you very much.
Let the boys come on each side. Come on, just we'll see you.
Our next proclamation is for someone who's a short timer on a board, but what I particularly appreciate about her is that she stepped up, just like she has stepped up all of her life, to do service to the people. And that's recognizing Lethia Williams. Come on up, Lethia. Starting to sound like The Price is Right here. Okay, the City of College Park proclamation recognizing Lethia Williams. Whereas we recognize Lethia Williams for her commitment and contributions to the City of College Park, and whereas Lethia Williams served in the United States Air Force from 1999 to 2015, directing 179 modules of the United States Air Force's intermediate course for officers. She played a pivotal role in creating a cultural leadership exercise for 1,654 in-residence students, teaching conflict resolution and cultural competency to military members and civilian employees, facilitating successful interactions with diverse nationalities during deployments. And whereas Lethia Williams currently specializes in transformative coaching, guiding clients to align with their highest values and instigate meaningful, sustainable changes in their lives. She passionately devotes herself to educating community members and youth organizations in financial literacy, steering attendees towards financial freedom and self-actualization. And whereas Lethia Williams was appointed to the Destination Marketing Organization as Councilman Ambrose Clay's appointee. Despite her brief tenure, she made significant contributions. Nominated for 2 board positions within the City of College Park, her demonstrated teamwork and willingness to step in where needed for the city have not gone unnoticed. And whereas Mrs. Lethia Williams' exceptional dedication to the City of College Park and her service to the nation are profoundly appreciated, we are forever grateful for her willingness to serve. Now therefore, be it proclaimed by the Mayor and the City Council of the City of College Park, Georgia, we do hereby recognize Mrs. Lethia Williams, proclaimed this 4th day of December 2023. Okay, this is a proclamation, and Shavela, I had a sheet of paper in here. I think there's a representative for Jonas Jennings here.
Yes. Tisha Walker? Tisha Walker? Yes. Okay. Good day.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Okay, I just want to say a few words. Jonas could not be here tonight, but those who know Jonas as an athlete will recognize the name. I've known Jonas through his philanthropic work at the Housing Authority. And he's been coming down to the Housing Authority for longer than I've been on council. So I think it's been at least 20 years, and we wanted to officially recognize him for everything he's done for the children in College Park. So this is a City of College Park proclamation recognizing Jonas Jennings. Whereas we recognize Jonas Jennings for his generosity and outstanding contributions to the City of College Park, and whereas Jonas Jennings, a distinguished resident of the City of College Park, traces the roots of his athletic journey back to his upbringing in the Collegeville Hills at Cox Court, which just proves you can succeed wherever you start out. Initiated through the College Park Recreation Department, Mr. Jennings progressed through his formative years attending Tri-Cities High School and later achieving accolades at the University of Georgia during his college football career. Whereas Jonas Jennings would later enter the National Football League in 2001 as the 95th overall pick for the Buffalo Bills. Mr. Jennings' football career would continue until his retirement in 2009 with the San Francisco 49ers. And whereas, beyond the boundaries of football arenas, Jonas Jennings' love for the community remained unwavering. Whether bringing his mentees to volunteer with his Helping Hands initiative, distributing over 400 coats, hats, and gloves to children in the College View Hill community during Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays, or organizing and hosting a Fundamentals 101 free football clinic for youth within the College Park Recreation Department. His commitment to community upliftment shines brightly. Whereas Jonas Jennings has established a perfect example of achieving excellence while still paying homage to his community in College Park, Mr. Jennings' exemplary leadership, strong work ethic, and dedication stand as a testimony to the communities that shaped and nurtured him during his formative years. And whereas, following his retirement from the NFL, Jonas Jennings, upon returning to the community, expressed his commitment to service by stating, "I came out of retirement not because I needed a job, but because my job wasn't done." This sentiment captures his continuing dedication to the betterment of the community he proudly calls his home. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the mayor and the city council of the City of College Park, Georgia, we do hereby recognize Mr. Jonas Jennings, proclaimed this 4th day of December, 2023.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Keisha Walker, President of Insights Marketing and Promotions. I've been blessed to have the opportunity to work with Jonas since he was recruited in 2001 to the NFL. And for the last 20 years, he has humbly, graciously, and continued to come back to the College Park Housing Authority and the projects, a lot of people call them, that he grew up in. He never forgot where he came from. He's always given. The entire 9 years he played in the league, we did both Christmas and Thanksgiving, providing full meals at Christmas, providing toys and coats to students. And just this past, right before Thanksgiving, every year on Monday now, since he's retired, we've never missed a year. And up until he became the VP of Player Development for the University of Georgia, his alma mater, where he works right now, and because of the closeout, unfortunately, them not winning the SEC championship, but they're still planning on going to an amazing bowl game. They've had an amazing season, and so he's still in Athens working. That's why he was unable to be here this evening. But we gave out this year over 300 turkeys and provided coats to all the young people in the community. And he continues, and every year he comes back and spends hours there. And I just want to thank him and his entire family. And he came and is a product of a single-parent home, and he's a true true example of anything is possible, and it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you end and how you continue to come back and give back. And I've worked with hundreds of athletes, and he continues to give back long after he retired, and he didn't have to do that, and he's never once forgotten where he grew up. So I just want to thank Mayor Pro Tem. You were a city councilman when we first started doing this, and your leadership, you always come out as well and support and reach out in the community and what you do, and thank you to the City of College Park for this opportunity.
That's a great Christmas story. Francina, wait a minute. Francina's going to take a picture too. Okay, guys, this is my last one. I've known Julian since he first started his restaurant, the Corner Grill, in College Park. And I usually celebrate anniversaries and birthdays there. The service is impeccable, the food is great, and Julian's a great guy, and so is his wife. City of College Park proclamation recognizing Julian Nabba. Whereas we recognize Julian Nabba for his generosity and outstanding contributions to the City of College Park and the surrounding Atlanta metro area. And whereas Julian Nabba is a veteran business owner with over 35 years of experience in the restaurant industry and real estate. And within those years, Julian Nabba selected historic downtown College Park to open the Corner Grill in 2011, preserving the original St. John's Episcopal Church building that was founded in 1906. And you'll see the plaque on the building if you go there. And whereas the Corner Grill offers traditional American cuisine with a Cajun influence, garnering numerous reviews and awards throughout the Atlanta area for its exceptional food and inviting atmosphere, leading to the opening of a second location in Upper West Side of Atlanta. And whereas Julian Nabba's commitment extends beyond the culinary domain, he has invested in the community through various ventures, including active membership in the Atlanta Airport District since 2016 and previous service as vice chair of the board. In January 2020, Mr. Nabba accepted the call to serve on the College Park Main Street Association as Councilman Clay's appointee, subsequently becoming the chairman of the board. Mr. Nabba has also received an award on the behalf of the Business and Industrial Development Authority. And whereas Mr. Julian Nabba's dedication to the City of College Park has been exceptional, and we are profoundly grateful for his willingness to serve. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park, Georgia, we do hereby recognize Mr. Julian Nabba, proclaimed this 4th day of December, 2023. And I'm sorry Julian could not be here tonight, but he's just down the street, and I couldn't recommend a more enjoyable atmosphere for dinner. So if you go see Julian, tell him I said hi and that you enjoyed the reading of the proclamation. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
of ironic that you get two tech guys up here to read, one from MIT and one from Georgia Tech, and you ask us to read rather than count numbers. So, my first proclamation is for a gentleman that when I was elected on the board, this was one of the first people that I asked to be on one of my boards. He's done a great job. He always is there, and I appreciate everything he's done. So, Mr. Ray Taylor, can you come right on down? And it reads, City of College Park Proclamation recognizing Ray Taylor. Whereas we recognize Ray Taylor for his exceptional performance in the City of College Park, and whereas with enduring residency spanning several years in the City of College Park, Ray Taylor has consistently embodied grace, decorum, standing, and as a revered leader in the community. His steadfast reliability has made him a trustworthy figure, consistently counted upon by his peers. And whereas Ray Taylor was appointee to Ward 3 Zoning Board, where he has been conscientious and a dedicated board member who investigates each issue as it comes before the zoning board. And whereas Ray Taylor's commitment extends to his appointment to the Ward 3 Zoning Board by Councilman Ken Allen, whereas he, I think I'm reading that over again, all right. Whereas Ray Taylor's wealth of experience proves invaluable to the city and its administration, providing invaluable insights to fellow board members, contributing significantly to the governance of various boards to which he has dedicated himself, and now therefore being proclaimed by the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park, do hereby recognize Mr. Ray Taylor, proclaimed this 4th day of December, 2023. Get your family to come up here. Get them. Second proclamation is to Mrs. Lisa Spivey. I'll get you to come down. I think everybody knows her husband, Glenn. If your power ever goes off, Glenn is the one you need to contact. He gets it back on in about 20 or 30 minutes. So anyway. The City of College Park proclamation recognizing Lisa Spivey. Whereas we recognize Lisa Spivey for her commitment and contributions to the City of College Park, and whereas Lisa Spivey has been an unwavering force in her service to the City of College Park, demonstrating unparalleled enthusiasm, dedication, and commitment to conducting thorough research and making informed decisions that consistently align with the best interest of College Park. And whereas Ms. Spivey's extensive commitment to the community service is evident through her active involvement on various boards within the city. Notably, she has been a dedicated member of the College Park Women's Club for the past 2 years, as well as Historic College Park Neighborhood Association. Additionally, her role as Councilman Ken Allen's appointee to the Planning Board showcases her commitment and responsibility to urban development. Whereas Lisa Spivey served with integrity and devotion, where she actively participates in public hearings and provides well-informed recommendations to the mayor and council. Her expertise extends to navigating applications for annexation, rezoning, conditional use permits, and various other responsibilities entrusted by the mayor and council of College Park. And whereas, in an honorable mention, Lisa Spivey has dedicated 15 years of her professional career to the Delta Community Credit Union. So if you need money, this is the person you need to come to. Her exceptional contributions earned her esteemed 2021 Spirit Award, a testament to her outstanding service and commitment to excellence. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park, Georgia, do hereby recognize Ms. Lisa Spivey, proclaimed this 4th day of December, 2023. All right, this next lady, Christy Dean. If you've ever been to Drip Through Coffee, Christy is always there. Done a wonderful job for the city. Appreciate everything they do. I love it that when you go up to the window, you don't push a button and talk to somebody through the intercom, and you get a face and they talk to you, and usually the second time or the third time, they recognize you when you come through. But Christy's trip through has been just fantastic. So, whereas we recognize Christy Dean for her outstanding customer service and her firm belief in doing her part to make the world a better place. And whereas with an illustrious career spanning over 25 years in the hospitality sector, Christy Dean has honored her expertise in customer service, drawing invaluable experience from her tenure at Disney World. Were you one of the animals or anything? Oh, okay. All right. Where she mastered client interactions and delved into the intricacies of the coffee industry. Successfully, after immersing herself in Starbucks' approach to coffee roasting service at Hartsfield Atlanta Airport, Ms. Dean embarked on pioneering a venture, Drip Through Coffee, introducing the first distinctive drive-through coffee shop experience in the city of College Park. And was recognized as just recently as one of the top 12 drive-through only coffee shops in the United States. That is really, really okay. Yeah, this is the tech stuff coming out. Okay. Whereas recognized as one of the top through the United States on Virginia Avenue, it stands as a testament to Mrs. Dean's commitment to delivering organic, sustainable, and heavenly coffee to all while actively contributing to the local community environmental initiatives within College Park. And whereas beyond her remarkable contributions to the coffee industry, Christy Dean's dedication extends to civic engagement. Serving on the College Park Main Street Association Board, member representing Ward 3, Ken Allen's appointee for the past 4 years, she has undertaken various roles during her tenure and played a pivot role in the inception of several innovative programs initiated by the Main Street Board, including serving as the Design Committee Chair. And whereas Christy Dean's outstanding service and unwavering dedication and steadfast commitment to College Park Main Street Association and the city as a whole goes unnoticed, the community is indeed indebted to her for her positive impact she continues to make, as we express our deepest appreciation for her willingness to serve. Now therefore it be proclaimed by the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park, Georgia, do recognize Ms. Christy Dean, proclaimed this day, 4th day of December 2023. And if you haven't tried the coffee or the donuts or the other, drive through. No, I'd have to wait in line a little bit, but it's worth it. Strip through, I'm sorry. Drive through, all right. All right, this last one is one of the smartest people I've ever known. Excuse me, Amber. This is to Dr. Anita Brown Cadis for her outstanding contribution. Oh, come on up here first. Here. And backdoor neighbor. And it's got the most adorable granddaughter you've ever seen in your life. So, anyway. Whereas we recognize Dr. Anita Brown Cadis for her outstanding contribution and her unwavering commitment and dedication to the city of College Park. And whereas Dr. Anita Brown Cadis moved to the city of College Park in 2013 with her husband, Gerald. For the past 10 years, their lives have been filled with community engagement and excellence. Their active involvement in the community, coupled with their membership in the historic College Park Neighborhood Association, has left an indelible mark in our city. And whereas Dr. Cadis, a distinguished alumni of the University of Pittsburgh and Hampton University, I think it's the doctor at Pittsburgh, is that correct? Again, very, very smart. Commands respect and admiration for her career in academia. I knew I would get that, okay. Administrator, private practitioner, and consultant, having served in the United States Army as an officer across the United States and Europe. Dr. Cadis now graces the Georgia Psychological Association as the Director of Professional Affairs, demonstrating her excellence in every endeavor. Whereas Dr. Cadis, in her capacity as the representative of Ward 3 on the Business Industrial Development Board, was appointed by Ken Allen, has utilized her specialized training in Six Sigma to process evaluation to elevate the efficiency of the projects. Her current role as Vice Chair is a testament to her exceptional leadership and commitment to the advancement of our community. And whereas Dr. Cadis used her dedication and tireless energies for the betterment of College Park and the community, her impact is not just felt, it is reverberates as a testament of the transforming power of passion and commitment. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Mayor and City of College Park, Georgia, we do hereby recognize Dr. Anita Brown Cadis, proclaimed this 4th day of December, 2023. Get up here, Gerald, come on.
Thank you. I couldn't have done it without the teamwork of Vida, the support of Ken, and the support of my husband, Gerard. Thank you.
I'm sorry Wisdom couldn't be here. It's her bedtime. And I'd just like to say, the city runs with its citizens and the employees, but these people that are on our boards, every single one of them, make it happen. the dedication that they going out, looking at the projects, looking at the zoning, finding out what the situation is so they can make good decisions is what makes this city what it is today. We have the greatest people in the city, we have the greatest employees, and we have the greatest people on the boards that are representing this city. So again, I want to thank all of my people as well as the people that Councilman Clay has also had. So thank you very much.
We have one more recognition, and I believe Dr. Baker is going to be in charge of that. Our All-Star of the Month.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here to present the All-Star of the Month for the month of November 2023. Since April 2017, this employee has been an integral part of the City of College Park team. Alongside a group of colleagues, he commutes daily from Carrollton, Georgia. Despite officially holding the job title of electrical line worker, he consistently assumes additional responsibilities effortlessly. His commitment, passion, leadership, and extended knowledge makes him a reliable go-to person for everyone. His commitment to transparency and professionalism significantly contributes to fostering harmony within the entire department. The Employee All-Star of the Month for November 2023 is Mr. Russell Austin, Electrical Line Worker, Electric Power Department. Most important is your check.
Tilt it forward. No, you're good. Just tilt the picture. It reflects if you don't.
He knows how to make it work.
Here we go. And we're coming this way now. I can see. Here we go. Yeah. That's good.
I would like to say one thing, and I would like to say a special thank you to the mayor and council. And when I first came to work here, I was scared to death. So I was a country boy coming to the big city, and got down here, and everyone has been so kind and so enjoyable to work with, and it's just been an absolute pleasure to be here and be part of this. And this is a special place, and it'll always have a special place in my heart. And just I'd like to say thank you. And this is like the lady said earlier, this is a really humbling experience. And just special thank you to everyone.
Oh, I've got one. Thank you. Thank you. I'm good.
All right, so typically at this point, we would open it up for citizen comments, and there would be some parameters surrounding that. But since we do not have a called meeting, if you want to come up and talk, you can talk for as long as you want. If you would, just make sure that you announce, state who you are and where you live. Good evening.
My name is Marjorie Dent. I reside at 4021 Jesse A. Dent Jr. Road, and I serve as interim director and senior chaplain of the College Park Chaplaincy Corps. Last Monday, Dr. William Walker made comments in the council meeting while wearing his College Park Police Chaplain uniform. The comments he made at that time do not represent the views or opinions of our College Park Chaplaincy Corps or staff. So on behalf of the Chaplaincy Corps, I apologize for any confusion or offense these actions may have caused to our community or governing body. Our chaplains must strictly adhere to an apolitical, neutral stance in matters of government and elections. We are spiritual leaders who are here to listen to and support our entire community without judgment or bias. We do not invoke our personal opinions into matters of government while officially representing our city and first responders. That's all.
Thank you.
Randy Godfrey, 1966 Lyle Avenue. So there's been a lot of intersections this evening. I'm so glad to hear about Jonas. Hattie Jennings, who lived in the College Park projects, was our grandmother. And she used to keep Jonas in those projects. My grandmother would sweep the dirt around those projects every day. It was the right thing to do. She felt like cleaning up was something that everybody could do, regardless of what your station in life was. And with that same intent today, I come to speak about a couple of things that concern me. Many of these things are risk. They have not come to fruition. And generally, these things will have a big impact on our city if they were to come to fruition. As active members of this community, it's important for us to speak when we see things that might not be in our best interests and to ask for clarity on matters that affect all of us. First is this idea that bringing in a company linked to a sitting Fulton County commissioner's income would be something that would put us at risk. If I follow correctly, we've spent significant time as a city struggling with this concept. The Fulton County Commissioner who sold us policy previously led to a lot of debate among the city attorney and the council. I believe that approaching and a change in direction with our benefit administrator towards someone who is an actively sitting member on the council, the commission, would open us to all types of questions. I'd like to also bring up another risk that I have become aware of. There is talk about changing out our city manager. And in that conversation, the idea of bringing a former city councilman to be our city manager. I want to recognize the good work that our city manager is doing now. I have noted that Mr. Stanley has been very professional, has shown real skill and experience at working to balance the needs of the city, and has been not political, as I am sure that is a requirement of this position. The person being considered as a replacement doesn't have the same level of experience or credentials. Our current city manager's got years of experience and know-how that we need. We've got to consider that, especially when we see potential replacement getting involved with campaigns of our current and future city council people, even throwing money their way into their campaigns. It raises questions about fairness and impartiality, and that's not the kind of leadership that we need. As we navigate these potential changes, I want to offer some encouragement to our city attorney. Your expertise is invaluable, and I encourage you to be prepared for any potential motions that may arise from these discussions. Your guidance will be instrumental in ensuring that our decisions are not only ethical, but or legally sound. In closing, the decisions we make today are going to shape our path of our city. It's crucial for us to weigh the risk and to think about what's right for all of us. I urge the City Council to keep things transparent, act with integrity, and to think about what's best in the best interest of the people of College Park. Our community deserves a government that operates with high ethical standards, and it's upon all of us to make sure that that happens. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi. Everyone, I am Grace McPhillips Lunsford. I am a resident, 3398 Washington Road. And I'm also in my final month as the vice chair of CPMSA. And I know many people are feeling overwhelmed by events in their own lives and by events in the world. But there's something that we, citizens, supporters of College Park employees, something that we can do right now to make things better. A crowd fund to help support our city employees. You can go to bit.ly/CP employee crowdfund. Community members, both residents and city employees even, come to me regularly, seeking clarity and help and creative thought. And after the shame of budget amendments not passing, employees not receiving their Christmas bonuses, guests not being able to present, and more that we even see tonight in the agenda not being addressed, all of it happening because of the planned inaction of two council members choosing not to do their jobs, community members have asked me, what, why, and how can we help? And I reel at the what? And I only know what has been spread in emails or what's been said to the AJC as to any why. But how? How can one help when our council members have left us feeling so helpless? Well, that's still doable. We can figure that out. And again, to be clear, CPMSA did not see a way to help on this. So I am not standing up here as a board member. What I am doing is bringing my experience, having raised hundreds of thousands of dollars in crowd funds. I see little to no time for a real campaign, a Kickstarter, a major platform, because that takes too long to get money into hands quickly. And this was all a deep consideration, because over $400,000 is the actual amount that would need to be raised to even try to meet the bonuses that are being missed, that will hopefully still come. But what could we do in the meantime? Maybe we could raise some money. Maybe we could give $50 gift cards to those in need. And maybe we could get 400 plus donations of that, maybe. So with the help of other residents, we have partnered with the Tri-Cities Arts Alliance for these community grants for two reasons: to keep the donations tax deductible and to keep processing costs low, because the money needs to go to the employees' hands. It also makes it much more quick. So what does that get the employees? It's not much, but maybe it's the balm of knowing that the citizens of this city care deeply. We believe in you. We believe that you need your bonuses. And we also believe that you need your budget wish list items and your additional staff and your training and your reevaluation and your knowledge of job security and not ever being worried about your job being threatened. Why do I have to be up here talking about this when I should be telling everyone to go vote for your favorite tinsel tree, which, by the way, voting ends on December 17th. And please help raise money for those amazing youth performers who make our Light Up the Night so special. I know great things happen when the community works with employees, because I've seen it, especially over the last 4 years, as Mayor Bianca has given me the opportunity to work on the Main Street Board. It's been a blessing, and it's given me so much insight. But if half of our city council refuses to step up and help College Park work properly, it's up to us to step into the gap. We're going to try and raise as much as we can to buy as many $50 gift cards for city employees to make their season brighter, and I hope that many people will join me. Citizens, please go to bit.ly/CP Employee Crowdfund, and you can donate any amount. Every dollar will count. You all deserve better. Employees, our fellow citizens, Ambrose, Bianca, Ken, Stanley, you all deserve better. College Park, let's do that. Let's make sure that better can come. Because we need to show up to get the work done ethically and, more importantly, legally. So College Park is a great place, and I know the world wants better for us too, and let's do it. Let's bring it together and make things better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Grace, would you send me some kind of a flyer? I know you're really great at putting those things together.
Sure.
And I'll put the address out on my website.
Yeah, the campaign is actually an event now on Facebook called the 12 Days of Christmas, and it's definitely shared publicly on my page, which is Grace McPhillips, which is my union name, SAG-AFTRA. But yeah, absolutely, I'll share all the direct links.
I'll put it up there for what it's worth.
Great, thank you.
What was that again?
bit.ly/CP Employee Crowd Fund. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Dom Kelly, 3546 Hemphill Street. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight, Mayor and Council. I'm here as a proud resident of College Park, a city that my wife and I chose almost 4 years ago because it had everything that we wanted: beautiful houses, walkable restaurants, parks, friendly neighbors, and most importantly to me as kind of a nerd and engaged in strong local government and leadership. And so far, College Park, under the leadership of this mayor and council, has exceeded our expectations. Overall, it's a city that we're proud to raise our daughter in. The past few weeks, however, I have been appalled and deeply shocked by the behavior of members of this council. I consider myself to be relatively young at 32, and I personally know a number of other younger folks who have chosen to live here in College Park for many of the same reasons that my wife and I chose College Park. But the kind of dysfunction and negative attention that the two absent council members have brought to our city has been embarrassing at best and shameful at worst. And I don't know how we can continue to be a city that is attractive to the next generation when we are forced to see the worst of politics on full display. And let's be clear, this is coordinated and it is political. It is unfathomable to me that the work of this city has been held hostage by two members of this council. It is unacceptable that our neighbors had to set up a crowdfunding campaign to show appreciation for our city's hardworking employees when that should have been done by the people who work for us with the money that we already paid into this city. I've worked in politics for a while, so I consider myself kind of an expert at recognizing the games that too many politicians play once they achieve a little bit of power and have access to a lot of money. What I'll say is that the next election is not that far away. The voters of this city are smart, they are waking up, they are following the money, and they are organizing to weed out the people who are here for themselves rather than for the people of College Park. And in closing, I do hope that everyone will donate what they can, if they can, to give back to our city's employees who give so much to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor and Council, James Walker, Rugby Avenue. I have listened intently last week, or the last time you had a meeting. Gay and Karn were not here. And I sat here and I listened to people in the community come up here and cast judgment and a public indictment without knowing any facts. I watched women call these grown men boys. And where I come from, that is a racial slur for a black man. And we sit here and act like it doesn't bother us, but it does. Now, I'm not anybody's PR spokesperson. I'm not a paid go fixer for Carnes and Gay, and I have my issues with them. However, if the truth be told, I want it to be told. I did my research, and to come to understand that in the past, there have been workarounds when people did not show up. There have been consent items that were, a vote was taken on the phone from Mr. Hawthorne, from council members who were not in attendance. There have been bills paid before they were voted on, and the actual votes were amended after the fact. So while I believe that it's admirable to have a GoFundMe page for the employees, because they are valuable and we do appreciate you all, I do not want it to appear that everything has been done to create a workaround, because there has been, make no mistake, what I am told by council members that they have in the past, if they're not able to attend, been able to call in, and Mr. Hawthorne has been able to record their votes and get bills paid. In addition, Mr. Gay has put forth a proposal for a meeting on the 15th where specific action item agendas are voted on beforehand so that when they get here, politics are not played. There are not action item agendas that are just put forth and voted on when they don't have the majority, since the mayor is the deciding vote. So if we're going to tell the truth, I want it to be told in its entirety. I want the people of College Park to know that I do not believe everything has been done by this body to make sure that our employees can get the bonuses that they deserve. Now, I invite you to do your homework, as the mayor says, and ask questions of the city manager and the city attorney. Has this been done before? Where they cannot get a vote in public, have they been able to call and cast their vote so that bills are paid and action items are taken care of? See, what I don't want it to be is a political, theatrical performance where people just come and don't understand what's at stake. I am to understand also that there were some action items on there that they felt questionable, such as a contract that was going to be voted on that does not expire until next June. So if we look at what's being voted on, I think we need to be fair in every action item on the agenda, and let's make sure that they are necessities for this year. What we can deal with next year can be dealt with this new council. Clay and Councilman Allen, you guys will not be here in January. And I am concerned that this city, this mayor, that this body will have a problem with coming together. And that to me is a bigger concern right now for the next 2 to 4 years. And I've heard people come up here and say, well, let's vote them out. Well, understandably so, but nobody here has been from those wards. They've all been from basically Ward 1 and wards that Gay and Carnes are not members. They aren't in their particular wards. So I am left with the impression that certain people don't really care about that. And to come up here and propose some kind of impeachment process, or let's call the governor, or let's do this, that's fallacy. That's not going to happen. So let's be real with what we're dealing with. And let's understand how this governing body works. Okay? What Mr. Hawthorne's duties are, and what he can and cannot do, and what the mayor's responsibility is, and the council people. Now, they should be here, and I don't know why they're not, and I'm not going to cast any judgment on that, because you know what? I've not spoken to them about that. So until we are clear on the facts, I think it would do us well to hold our assumptions to ourselves and deal with what we can deal with. And what we can deal with, and what I am told we can deal with, is having a consent agreement on the phone or wherever else, or come together on the 15th, which I guess Councilman Clay has proposed, to deal with employee benefits and to make sure that they can have their bonuses. If we're so concerned about that, and I believe most of us are, we've shed tears behind that, and they are important to us, then we need to explore every option that we can to make sure that we can get them their bonuses. And we can still have the GoFundMe page. I think that's a fantastic idea. But I want to make sure that everybody has done all that they can do before we go casting blame and have a public indictment of two men that are not here to speak for themselves. I really hope we can get our act together, because this is not a good look for anybody. And to play politics and use their absence in a political game where we're trying to get things passed before the end of the year is a travesty. We have a new council coming aboard, and I do not think we should put forth any action item agenda that is going to cripple them with making their decisions. They have been duly elected, just like Carnes and Gay have. Now, when their term is up, let the voters speak. But until then, hold your personal opinions, keep them to yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, yeah. Please. Anyone wish to speak?
Hi, Ms. Smith, 3799 Main Street. I am coming before you guys today to say we have to do something in regards to our IT department when it comes to trying to get information, especially when it's over the holiday weekend. What I'm speaking about in particular, the City of College Park had closed on Wednesday afternoon and did not return until Monday. That's a great thing. Hope you guys enjoyed your holiday season. That Saturday, I happened to come home and my water was green. My neighbors were having a party. We have kids in the neighborhood. I alerted my neighbors that they might want to check the color of their water. In the meantime, I got online and tried to find an emergency number. I got the police department and all this various, dial this number, dial that number. Of course, it's the wrong number. I got another number to call. Of course, nobody was there. It was a holiday weekend. So I understand that, but we need somebody that we can call during the holiday if something goes wrong. But that being said, I waited until Monday. I don't drink the water, but I was giving my dogs water, and I noticed that it was cloudy. With that being said, I want to say thank you so very much to the following people. Cassandra Tolliver, she's the water and sewer, she's over the water sewer, she's a manager of the water and sewer department. I think the name, and I could be wrong, is Tavers Acri. Again, I'm sorry if I spelled your name wrong. I said it improperly. The other person was Monroe Tolbert, who happens to be the environmental compliance officer. When I called Miss Cassandra on Monday, she sent those guys out immediately. They came out, tested the water, said they'll get back with me. They even consulted East Point Water Department. So now all three of these guys are congregated on my property trying to find out what's going on. They flushed a hydrant. They assured me they'll get back with me that week and let me know what the results were. And they did just that. I am proud to say I live in College Park. Because if I live in Atlanta, oh, come on, I couldn't have gotten anybody even if it was today. So I thank them so very much. I just wish that we had a number or someone to call in case of emergency. And since we're talking about the employees of College Park, we have the best sanitation department ever. Miss Pat, who is in customer service, has been here for as long as I've been here, 23 years or something of this nature. So I am sad to hear that we don't have enough money in the funds for them, for their bonuses or raise or anything of that nature. But in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, that perhaps we look forward to giving the employees raises first before the council people vote on getting a raise. I could be wrong, but we have to take care of our people. And again, I want to thank every person that works here in College Park. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. I so appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to speak?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Marlon Hines. I am a resident of Ward 1. I reside at 2423 St. Andrews Ridge. And I just felt compelled to come before you to just speak about some of the things that have been going on with the council members that have not been showing up for the past, 3 meetings now. And just I've been a citizen of College Park since 2017. It's when I bought here. Now, I've listened to other people speak, and I find it hard to believe that both of those council members are out for legitimate reasons at exactly the same time, and I feel almost as though we are being held hostage to some degree. And I know, that sounds maybe a little drastic, but we're sitting here not able to get things done because it almost feels as though a couple of council members are throwing a tantrum. And I think about this. The community that I live in now is one that has covenants and bylaws, and prior to this I've lived in another community that also a subdivision governed by covenants and bylaws. And the thing that struck me is the bylaws in both of those instances, the bylaws contemplated what might need to be done in the event that you had directors on the board of directors of the association that were not showing up and were not doing their job. And so it feels a little bit mind-boggling to me that as a municipality, as a city, there's not been any sort of, and maybe there has been and y'all just aren't talking about it, but there has to be some sort of contemplation either in the charter or some other governing document that addresses what happens when this kind of thing happens, where council members don't show up or they go rogue in some form or fashion. And so I would just like to say I would encourage you all and the city attorney to, as much as you can, address what written protocols are there in place to deal with this kind of situation, because it's just hard to imagine again that, you know, an HOA can contemplate this, but a municipality does not. So again, that's really all I wanted to say, is just if there's anything that you all can speak to or do to just make it known what protocols or procedures are in place for this kind of scenario, I think it would just go a long way to kind of ease people's minds. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Beulah Lindsay, and I reside at 3568 Herschel Road. I live in Ward 1, and Councilman Clay has been my city council person since I moved to College Park in 2000. Everybody's talking about why the two council persons are not here. I certainly don't know why. But what I do know is that during the time that I have lived here and they have served as city council persons, they have been here on a regular basis. So to me, this is aberrant behavior. This is not something typical that we have seen by them. So the reason that they're not here, I don't know. We can only assume. I think that only Councilman Gay and Councilman Khan really know the answer to that. So I think it is actually inappropriate for us to jump to conclusions and make statements about things as we really don't know. We are making assumptions. Mayor Motley Broom says that we should know the facts, speak the facts, and I don't know the facts. So I'm not going to draw a conclusion in reference to either one of them. But what I will say is that we have a new council coming in place on January 1st. And I'm looking forward to the new leadership. I appreciate the leadership of Councilman Allen and Councilman Clay. However, it's going to be a new day. It's a new council, new direction, new leadership. Now, with that being said, it is my hope that the community will work with the board, will work with the new council, and we can put aside all that has happened in this past election. You and I both, all of us know that it has been an unbelievable election. All kinds of negative things said and done. It's behind us. The people have spoken. We have a new council. With that being said, I think it is also important. I cannot, I tried not to say anything about this, but I feel very strongly about it. I've had a conversation with Councilman Clay about it in reference to a couple of emails that he sent as a citizen of Ward 1. Councilman Clay sends out each time we have a meeting, a council meeting, he sends us an itinerary and tells us what is going to be on the agenda, what he thinks is important or pertinent to us in Ward 1. And he has sent out two, and it's very disturbing to me that I have real issues with. Because in one of them, he says, and I quote, "I suggest that you watch council decisions carefully." This is after he's speaking primarily once the new council comes aboard. I suggest that you watch their decisions carefully. Make sure you watch who they put on BIDA, who they put on all the other boards. That is important. Now, I have been receiving these kinds of emails from receiving emails from Councilman Clay, and I'm not trying to call out Councilman Clay, but Councilman Clay made this very public. So therefore, let's that's what it is. It's public. So I have been receiving these emails from Councilman Clay ever since he's been a council person and I have lived in College Park. And I read over them all, and I decide whether or not, based upon what he says is on the agenda and what is pertinent to me, I decide whether or not I'm going to come into council meetings. When I read this, and he sent this out twice, be vigilant. You're getting a new council. Make sure you watch them. Particularly watch who they put on these boards. I take that as a personal affront to me, because I know that everybody who's going to sit up there, they're going to look like me. And all of a sudden, we need to be watched. Make sure you watch the decisions that they make. Now, it's an interesting thing, because tonight I saw and heard my councilman give a proclamation out to Jamal McKenzie, who's going to sit where he's sitting come January 1st. But watch. And you know, I really didn't want to do this, but Councilman Clay, he did it, and he made it public. I went to him and talked to him one-on-one first, because as an African American, as a black woman, I'm telling you, it takes me back too far where I don't want to go. And you know, maybe you don't understand. Maybe you're not, you know, you can't feel it because you haven't been there. You're not sensitive enough to understand it. Something that just didn't sit right with me. And I can't sit quiet. I will not sit quiet. Jamal deserves better. Miss Arnold, as Councilman Clay says, he doesn't know her. But watch who they put on BIDA. Watch them. Watch the decisions they make. Why? You ain't been watching anybody else. You haven't told me to watch anybody else. Why we gotta watch? Why? And you wonder why they're not here? You wonder why? I don't know why. But sometimes you have to stand, even if you're standing alone. So I take it as extremely offensive. Extremely offensive. And maybe you may not understand. You might have to be black to understand it. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak?
Cassim Lpo, 1951 Rugby. So I have not, through a lot of divisive politics, come up and spoken intentionally, because I do think that it is super divisive and people are picking sides. And I would argue, no matter what side you pick, my worry is that College Park is struggling regardless. That the size, the divisiveness that we've seen at the federal level has now trickled down to the local level. And at the end of the day, we're not making the progress that everyone knows College Park is supposed to make. What are the reasons behind it? Who's right, who's wrong? You know, I had a mentor that used to tell me that you can be right and lose at the same time. And so in this effort to find out who's evil, who's good, who's right, who's wrong, the city has suffered. I do a little bit of reading in history, and for many of you who are familiar with Southern history, you know that at some point, Birmingham was supposed to be Atlanta. And because Birmingham couldn't be what Atlanta became, which is the city that was too busy to hate, Birmingham couldn't get an airport. Birmingham couldn't get all of these wonderful things that Atlanta, City of Atlanta and Metro Atlanta has been able to receive. I have a client that's in Bessemer, Alabama, not too far from Birmingham. And one of the things that their leaders talk about now is that Birmingham has a real insecurity issue because for so long they've not been able to get their act together, and they always have Atlanta as an example of what they could have been if they simply had tried to figure out a way to work together. So I'm not here to make any remarks about what other people are saying, whether I agree with them or not. I would just say we're all supposed to be a collective team. And clearly there are trust factors that are getting in the way of us having success. Because that's what I hear. It doesn't matter what the language is, who's on what side. I hear a lot of distrust. I hear a lot of concerns about people being judged unfairly. I'm hearing about decisions that can't be made because whether people are showing up or people aren't agreeing behind the scenes. I'm not here to speak to the council members that aren't here. I'm here to say that as a team, we're supposed to be able to come to some sort of consensus for the betterment of the city. We're supposed to come to consensus so that the city can continue to move forward and operate. And so I do turn to mayor and council for the remainder of this year, to the new council members who happen to have the opportunity, or the people who will be returning, and new council members, as you go into 2024. What's in the best interest of the citizens? What are in the best interest of staff? And how do we come to some level of consensus, even if we don't agree? I'm on the planning commission, and we have commission members that represent different wards and have different priorities. But I will tell you, the conversations that we have all come back to not only what's in the best interest of College Park, but the votes. And sometimes, as someone who's the last who doesn't have the opportunity to vote at the end, because the other, as the chairperson, I only vote in a tie break, there have been some times where there's some things that I disagree with, but I have to uplift democracy by actually letting the vote actually happen and being present during that vote. But that also means that in some cases, some of the work that needs to be done is behind the scenes so that people don't have a feeling that they can't show up to actually have their voices heard. So we've got to figure out some sort of balance, but at the end of the day, we're the ones that are going to be sacrificed, right? We talked about staff members without bonuses. We've talked about, other aspects on the agenda that affect the community. We've got to figure out a way to do this. And I think one of the things that a lot of people don't like to say playing politics. I think that your job is politics, right? And so politics is about compromise. So how do we help you all bring compromise so we can move the city forward? But then I turn to the citizens and say, citizens, many of you who have some of the loudest voices in this room, how loud are your voices to the people that represent your wards? Because this looks great when you can get on a camera and say all these things and be very vocal and boisterous. But is that same energy happening at the coffee shop down the street? when you're sitting with your council member and saying, hey, this is something I have a problem with. Or you're sitting with a council member that doesn't represent your ward, and you're saying, hey, I need you at these meetings. Or why is it that you're not at the meetings, right? All these people, their phone numbers are available. You have access to them. Don't just say, I don't know why they're not here. Go find out. See, that's what active democracy looks like. It's not just getting on social media and making comments. It's not just coming up to the dais and screaming at the top of your lungs. It's getting to the work when nobody's looking. How many of us are going to do that for the sake of moving the city forward? That's what I'm looking for. I ran, many of you know, I ran for office. I didn't win. Did I go and take my sandbox and go into my house and say I'm not going to be a part of this anymore? No, I work with the people that beat me. That's an interesting concept. Working with the people that you actually lost to, right? I joined commissions. Talked to Ambrose Clay. I said, Councilman Clay, I want to get involved. I didn't go to social media and say, Bianca is a horrible person because she beat me. I didn't talk about people who finished ahead of me. I got to the work. And I'm involved in the city. And when the new council comes up, I'm going to be involved in the city. Many of you know I don't respond on social media when I don't agree with things. I just go talk to the people directly, because that's what leadership is about. Not complaining, rolling up your sleeves, and getting to the work. And I've done that for 4 years. My hope is that everyone else who screams at the top of their lungs about what's not going well will do the same. And I have a feeling the city's going to be better for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Sherry Godfrey. I reside at Lyle Avenue. Thank you, Cassim, for your comments. I agree, this is a team. It's a team with our city leadership. It's a team with the residents. And for teammates to decide they don't want to be here because they don't like the work that's before them is not being a team player. I don't know the official reason either why Karn and Gay aren't here. I do know that Gay had a public statement that he was not going to participate for the remainder of 2023, which is shameful in my opinion. I don't know what Karn had to say. But you're not serving your team when you decide I'm not going to play until the teammates that I want on the team are here for the game. That's not the team. And I think we all know this past election has been different than any other from many residents that I've spoken to who've spent decades in this community. I readily admit that's not myself. I've only been here a couple of years, but I fortunately have neighbors who've been here a really, really long time, and Ambrose Clay is one of them. And they've never seen an election where people are raising $80,000, $100,000 for a council seat. So there's a lot at stake here with where our city is positioned currently, with development and investment opportunities that are before us, and it's a game changer. So I think that is motivation for some folks to decide we're not going to play on the team like we used to. We're going to wait for our players and then we'll resume the game, which is very sad to me. And so to watch council is not about individual council meetings. It's not about council being brown and now the current council members aren't brown. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It is, this election was different than every other. There are opportunities before the city that are different than there ever have been. And so to watch council as a collective body It is the union, how the body functions. What are the decisions the body makes? Not the people, the collective body. And that is true for council. It is true for the collective body of VITA. It is true for the collective body of the Planning Commission. These are arms, they are extensions of your council representatives. And so as citizens, as residents, we should be watching how those bodies function. What are the decisions that the body makes? It's important. So I don't want people to be distracted in going back to this racial narrative that's been the undercurrent of this whole election season. It'd be great if that would be over, because that's distraction, and frankly, you're gonna miss what's really important if you're still looking at the black-white cards. So I didn't intend on speaking this evening, but I felt moved to make comment about that, because it's no reason for any of us to speculate at least why one person isn't here, because that person said it directly why he's not here. But we got to move on. How government bodies work in transitions of power, the current body makes decisions to keep the city, the agenda moving forward until there's a transition of power for new council members. That's what's supposed to happen. You don't stall and come to a stop because you're just going to run the clock down and wait for the new team. That's not how government works. Government also doesn't work by selectively choosing line items of the agenda and saying, okay, well, I'll make a decision on that one. I don't find that item offensive, but I'm not going to make a decision on other items. Again, it's a body. A budget is many line items. It's many needs being concerned and addressed. So to start that precedent is a dangerous one, and I don't think it's a good decision. I can't say how city manager felt about that, but you're having the responsibility of communicating with department heads and the council members and moving our city forward and making sure you're facilitating that process. I don't want to speak for you how you feel about it, and I'm not the authority on how that works, but logic seems to me that you don't start a precedent of picking and choosing items that you want to make a decision on and phone in your votes on C and D and skip A, B, and E. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Celissa Jefferson, proud Ward 4 member, Skyline Drive. So, I've been watching as well as praying for our community, because we are a community of one. But I do believe there are other factors here at play. So for one, I'm not going to ever demise or degrade our council members, Joe Carn and Council Member Roderick Gay. They were elected freely, and they have served outstandingly for the city of College Park, as well as for Atlanta. So tonight, I want us to think about something. When we take an oath, or when we are sworn into a testimony, part of that swearing in, it says, do you solemnly swear to tell the truth and the whole truth? So we do understand there are two truths here. The first truth comes from the perspective or the perception of the witness or the sworn person that's being sworn in. But the second one, the whole truth, comes from from all perspectives. Now, I hold this body, mayor, and council, you to the whole truth. I do think, Mayor, that your leadership needs more integrity. And what I mean by that is, when you are a leader of a city, you do whatever it takes for that city to win. Now, it may be some things that you're not going to agree with. It may be some things that you are going to agree with, but you do what's required to win. It's just like a coach of a game. One of the two greatest players of all time is Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul. But those two players weren't just dynamic on the court. They were dynamic behind the scenes because they spent seconds upon minutes, upon days, upon hours, upon weeks, upon months, upon years doing self-assessment of themselves. They would look at tapes constantly to see what did they need to do to become better within their skill set, as well as to lead teams to become champions. And that's what is needed when you become a public servant. So, although the community has the truth, we have two councilmen that have been outstanding in their leadership and their commitment to lead the city are not here. That is the truth. But we don't know what the whole truth is. And that's when it falls upon the leader of any administration to come in line, make the phone calls, create the collaborations to what is it that we need to do differently? What is it that we're missing? Because obviously it's a breakdown in communication, but that impacts leadership. So we need something differently. Yes, we do. This city is 133 years old and is still underserved. And you ask yourself, I stand for equity and I stand for transparency and I stand for full disclosure. But that's where the buck meets the road. That's where the motives and the strategies have to be disclosed and analyzed. So obviously, your leadership and your administration as mayor of the city, there is a breakdown. But what is the resolve? And I don't think that we, as the citizens, as public community, is going to understand that. Because there should be camaraderie amongst administration. You guys have worked together for several years. Councilman Clay, you've been here for more than 16 years. You have worked with Councilman Carr, worked with Councilman Gay. The longest here. I'm pretty sure you can have those hard conversations. Where do we meet? Where do we compromise? Where do we collaborate? Where is the cooperation? Because you're here, you're freely elected to win championships. And City of College Park at this point, from what I have seen, since the election and the newly created Facebook pages, there are a lot of microaggressions taking place here. And I don't think that being a city in Georgia, you can ever say, well, race is never a factor. Because the state of Georgia would never be where it is without the American Civil Rights Movement. And because this city consists of over 70% of African Americans that live below the poverty line, it will always be a factor. But those are the tough and hard, challenging decisions and conversations that you have to be willing to take. We're not a utopia. This is not a Mayberry. Yes, we work well with each other. There's, enormous expertise and knowledge. But does everyone has the ability and the equity to play and receive a fair competition to compete? And there shouldn't be a competition. But what we have before us is alliance voting. And Councilman Clay, Mayor, Councilman Allen, your voting record, 99% has aligned the same. And we have heard consistently from Councilman Joe Carn and Councilman Roger Gay that they don't agree. But they can't do anything about it because there's an alliance voting here. So I commend Councilman Joe Carn and I commend Councilman Roger Gay for standing up for justice. We don't know why they're not here, but I trust and believe they have been trusted advisors through our community for a very long time. And I trust their intelligence and their ethics, as well as their commitment to go above and beyond to be great representatives of this city, which they have done. But there are other things being at play here. Those councilmen care about the city employees. They care about their welfare. And their track record speaks for that. And since it comes to the Christmas bonuses or the contributions from the businesses that are here that are making toy donations, they have addressed those items. Their constituents received information that they have contacted the city manager and made them aware of it. Now, since the Christmas bonuses are a budgeted item and have been voted on, you guys should be able to do what's accordingly and do what's right by the employees. Because there are some times that you have to reach a consensus. It doesn't necessarily need a vote, but it needs a consensus. And oftentimes, a consensus will tell you where a person's heart lies. And there is nothing that you can tell me about Councilman Joe Carn and Councilman Roger Gay that they do not care for this city. And that this is to take it as a walkout. That is a lie. Not only is it a lie, it's misleading. And I feel that something has been utilized to gaslight our community when it doesn't have to be. Because as a leader, and to lead in integrity, you're going to accept accountability. And you're going to rise above the occasion to figure out what is our resolve, what is our resolution. Not create a dissension in our community of us versus against them. We are one community, we are one College Park, and everyone is to be respected and honored for the commitment to service that they have rendered to this city. So I am very disheartened to see this. I'm disheartened by some of the words that have been chose for some constituents to put publicly online. These are men of our community. They are fathers. They are leaders. And they care about the city of College Park. And now if you care, as the three remaining people here, then let's get together and figure out what is our resolution. What do we do? How do we work together and bridge differences? I remember when Jack Longino, my last conversation with him, And we talked about the disparities in this city. And his words to me was, I'll take my chances. And I said, chances? Well, we don't have time for chances. We have time to create goals, create objectives, work through results. That's what we have time for. And I told him, I said, the only way you heal disparities is by having a conversation. And oftentimes we don't want to lend ourselves to go forward and have those challenging, deep conversations because we don't want to disrupt the values that some of us have been raised in. But there comes a time where we have to be open and learn and listen enough to the inequities. And when someone talks about an inequity, don't consider it as complaining, because it's not a complaint. They are affected by the injustices. So hopefully our Councilman Joe Carn and our Councilman Roger Gay are safe, and that they are thinking forward how they will continue to lead our city upstandingly as they have and as their record has proven. Now, when it remains to the newly elected council, Mayor, I think as a leader, I think that there should have been some proactiveness in creating the agenda. Simply because we clearly can see that there were aspects that would need to be regarded by the 2024 council. Now, as a business strategist for close to 25 years, I have to understand motive. And so therefore, if something is impacting 2024 and this people have spoken and have freely elected people to represent their new administration in 2024, let them have way at it. What is the rush? Because there is none. Because we all are here to serve in a public servant capacity for everyone to thrive. Not only a chosen few. And so, therefore, I do believe that our two councilmen, that they are standing up for universal justice and equity for our city. And I think that that is my truth. But we will never know the whole truth. But that's what I hope that you three, before the year ends, can come together and have a discussion with the other remaining councilmen, as you should, and meet to deliberate, discuss, come to a meeting of the minds, because that's what we freely elected you to do. Go above and beyond your expectations and serve and do right by all citizens within this community.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to speak? All right, hearing none others. Mayor Pro Tem Clay, this is your final opportunity.
Well, at this time, I'd normally wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and Happy Hanukkah. And unfortunately, it's not a very Merry Christmas. Several things. First of all, I believe it was Mr. Clark that was speaking. I'm just going to state facts. And so, Lisa, I know you will read in certain things to those facts. So I'm just going to try to keep it to all the facts that I'm aware of. Councilman Carn and Gay walked out in June, the first meeting in June, as I recall, when we had one more meeting to approve the budget. They walked out partway in the meeting. Councilman Gay and Carn walked out at the November 20th meeting. No, it didn't walk out. I'm sorry. They didn't show up for the November 20th meeting. The mayor rescheduled a meeting for the 27th to talk. The same two council people walked out again, didn't walk out, didn't come to that meeting. It was a special called meeting because we needed to get the budget done. We needed to get a number of other things done. This is the last regularly scheduled meeting of the year. We had 4 agendas to cover in this meeting. In the January meeting, there will be 6 agendas to cover because there will be a work session and a regular meeting. Those are facts. And you can infer whatever you want as to why it's always the same 2 and why this has never happened before that I can recall in the time that I've been on council. I don't think it happened before that. Another comment, implication was made that I made a comment about watching the council. Yeah, I absolutely did make that comment. The racial inference that was made from that council, I believe, is what the message that was being sent by Ms. Lindsay was, that I wanted you to watch the council because they're going to be all African American. The sad part of this country right now, and it's not our fault here, it's not, every time we have an issue in this country these days, it gets resolved by saying, well, they're a different race. Or, well, they're a different religion. They're Muslims. Or they're Jews. Or they're Christians. Or they're some other religion. I could go on and on. We make the dangerous assumption that just because someone is identifiably different, that they are motivated by something magical associated with their skin color or their religion or their sexual persuasion or whatever. And that is the thing that is killing this country. Now, I'm going to be getting off the bus pretty soon. At my age, I won't be around a whole lot longer. And I fear for my children and my grandchildren and your grandchildren. And of course, social media has, with lies and inferences and game playing, we know our enemies have created bots to create this division in the country. And I will agree with you. Yeah, we need to talk more. But I don't make my decisions, at least for God's sake, I don't make them consciously, based on whether somebody is gay or straight or white or black or Muslim or Catholic or Protestant or whatever. I'm a nerd. I'm an engineer. I'm a manager. I make them on that basis. I believe that there are people out there, and if all of my email had been read, it would be clear that I believe that people are trying to take advantage of us. And we are being dumb. And I'm saying all of us. Me too. We all have our problems. Why do you think so much money was spent on this race? Was it because there was an opportunity that this might be the first historically black consul in College Park? Maybe. I don't think so, though. I think it's because we've got some outside influence. And this is in my email, if somebody wanted to quote it. I believe there are contractors, developers, and other people out there who want to take advantage of us. And if we are unaware enough of those realities, I've been on council a long time, and I've seen a lot of things. And there are a lot of ways that politics gets done. But it ain't the guys out there that are pumping $20,000 by various means, their grandmother, their mother, their wife, their child, whatever, contributing in the campaign. Those people aren't doing it because they just have some goal that they want to help out College Park that they don't even live in. They live in Buckhead or they live somewhere else. They ain't interested in our personal benefit for the most part. I'm saddened, but it's not unexpected, that my decisions, or some of my comments at least, have offended African American people in College Park. Yeah, I am ignorant. I'm white. I didn't grow up in the African American community. And I have done the best I could to try to address problems throughout my ward. But I also am an experienced business person, and you can relate to that. And I think a certain way. And I'm a nerd, so I don't think politically typically. My first thing is, what's a logical decision? So it bothers me, but it's not unexpected that somebody would attribute my comments about watching the council as being a racist comment. Yeah, I'm going to say the word racist, R-A-C-I-S-T. Let's speak to the elephant in the room. You want to speak to the elephant in the room? Well, he's right over there somewhere. I don't know. He or she. That is what is happening throughout this country. Oh, it's just a Jewish idea. It's those Jews are getting together, or those Muslims are getting together, or those Catholics are getting together, or those white guys are getting together, or those business people are getting together. That is not the thing that is going to save this country. We're going to go to hell in a handbasket, guys. So, there have been multiple opportunities to get together, and I think I'm going to address your last comment, Lisa. Maybe just because you're the last one that came up, I don't know. But we did not have to blanket pass that budget amendment that we started to try to talk about on the 20th. We started way at the meeting. Stanley brought the budget forward. City manager brought the budget forward, the ideas. We started that discussion then. And people came up with different ideas. And staff came back. And we reacted to it. And we said, no, we didn't want to. I made a commitment that I was going to try to keep the millage rate back to where it was. I said that. That wasn't new information. That had nothing to do with race. It had nothing to do with anything but the fact that I think the taxpayers have been hit hard enough with inflation and everything else, and I think we needed to do what we could to get the money back. It wasn't a Catholic idea. It wasn't a white idea. It wasn't a heterosexual idea. It was just what I believed, logically. And I can be wrong. I've been wrong before. God knows I've been wrong before. Hopefully I've been right more than I've been wrong. But my feeling has been that there's an attempt going on to run out the clock. And I don't know. God knows I was prepared to stay here till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And we're doing a pretty good job at this point. It was running late. But I'm willing to talk about the budget. I'm willing to sit down and say, hey, you know, we won't approve these items right now. We had a gazillion items in the budget amendment. But you can't have that conversation if you don't come to the blasted meeting. And yes, I will agree, there was one item on that agenda that had I been smarter, I would have said, hey, the contract doesn't run out until June. Why are we going through it now? Now, I think it started out that item was initially for information, and then it gravitated into approval. And had I been smarter, I would have asked the question, well, I'd ask the same question. Why are we approving it now? Well, guess what? That item was taken off this agenda. That item isn't on this agenda for tonight. It's off. I don't think you're on my email chain, but on my email chain, when I did my thing that Ms. Lindsay was talking about, I pointed out that it was taken off in red. So it wasn't an issue. And I agree, it ought to be the decision of the new council. Whether they'll make the same decision I would, maybe not. And I might disagree with that decision, but that's the American way. I'm not on council next year. Neither is Ken Ellen. So the new council, why shouldn't they make the decision? They got 6 months. I don't have a problem with that. And if you looked at my email, guess what? You'd see in red, it's not there. Guys, we're doing, I don't know, you know, I'm a science fiction fan, and I have this view of somebody pointing a death ray at the earth and screwing people up. And I remember a comic I read when I was a little kid about somebody doing exactly that thing. And everybody kind of went crazy and the world fell apart and what have you. And we're there now. And it's no one individual's fault. It's not my fault, your fault, what have you. But we're falling victims to it, guys. And I wondered how long it would take before the division in the country would propagate down to good old Mayberry, as I like to call it, and as I think you were mentioning. So, and I'm sorry for picking on you. I mean, but you were the last one up, and I thought you had some really thoughtful remarks. I don't know what's going to happen next year. I'm not going anywhere. I believe in College Park. I'm going to do something different. I'm not going to run for council again, and I'm not going to be on the board. I'll help out. If staff needs help or something, I'm willing to do that. I'm probably going to go back and do consulting. I love College Park. What we've got in College Park should be a model for the country. We're 80% African American. We have a large percentage, as you pointed out, of people that are not well off in this city. And if we can make it work here, there's a future for the country. Because of all the places I've lived, I have felt that College Park was home. I mean, it was the friendliest place I have lived. And it pains me deeply to see us falling apart, to see us going the same way the federal government has gone, then the state government has gone, and now the city government is going that way. But to be honest, I've had it. I've tried to position the city, rightly or wrongly. If you read my last email, which maybe somebody passed you, I don't think you're on my email, but you might be. We are so well positioned, and people just want to take advantage of us. And just like the Russians and the Chinese and what have you that want to create fake bots to influence public opinion in the country, well, they're succeeding. I'm not saying I'm not going to blame it on the Russians and Chinese. We can probably do it to ourselves just as well. But I don't know the answer. I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and whatever holidays are celebrated by the different religions that I'm not intimately familiar with. But I'm done. Somebody else is going to take over for me the first of the year. I made a point of putting people this fourth term, I wasn't going to run, I've told you that before. When I ran this fourth term, I looked at my board positions and I did the same thing I did in industry. I tried to put people in those positions that I thought not just were good people for those positions, but to possibly take my job, because I wasn't going to run for a fifth term, and I kept that commitment, or to myself anyhow. So I think this needs to be resolved by the new council. And I would like to stick up for the city manager on one thing. This whole thing about the bonus and us approving things retroactively. What kinds of things have we approved retroactively or outside of the council meeting? And that's even somewhat questionable, I think city attorney would say. It has been emergency repairs. Sewer breaks down. City manager makes a decision, repair the sewer now. There have been some other things, events, somebody wants to have a parade or have a block party or something, and we have on occasion gone back and said, hey, yeah, it's a good thing and we've done it before, paperwork got fouled up, we'll do it. Unfortunately, the budget for the bonuses was not a single line item on an agenda. Oh gosh, somehow we skipped over that item on the agenda. Well, we know we want to do a bonus. It's even in the budget. Oh, no, it isn't. Wait a minute. It's in this budget with a gazillion other things. And so you're not talking about a $400,000 item, which is a big item. You're talking about something that is part of, I don't remember, somebody could help me out, but it's a big number. It's over $1 million.
4.7 million.
How much?
4.7 million.
4.7 million. So, I don't know. I do think that it's, as one speaker pointed out, it does seem as kind of a strange coincidence that two people keep missing the same meetings at the same time. But I'm sorry, I'm done. I love the city. I love the employees. It kills me that they haven't gotten their bonus. I'm supported. I'll certainly contribute to a GoFundMe.
It's not a council meeting.
I'm sorry, I have the floor, Rex.
I know, I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
Can you have a seat, please?
Yeah.
So I will, I'm done for the year. I'm not planning to come back and have anything. I assume that the new council hopefully will quickly approve a bonus. Unfortunately, it's not what you need right before the holiday, not what you need right before Christmas, and that's a shame. But so help me God, I've tried 3 times. I've been here on the 20th, I've been here on the 27th, and I've been here on the 4th of December. 3 times I've tried. That's all I have.
Mr. Willis, do you want to say something?
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. First of all, Ambrose, I'd like to say thank you for your service. Thank you, Ken. I supported both of you. And Ken, I worked my butt off for your campaign 4 years ago. You know it, and I know it. And I supported Jack Longino. So what I'm getting ready to say is, no one can accuse Rex Willis of racist or making racist things either way. Ambrose, you had a problem with Captain Queen. Asked Serena to come on years ago when she called you a racist about the basketball court. I'm gonna remind you. Serena came on, both of us came on with the rec department, and I said what I felt was true. You're not a racist. No, I said you the first person I came before council. You the first councilman that went over and won over to the housing authority to show some kind of interest. Now, within saying that, I had Cassim come up and said, person yelling, he was referring to Beulah, yelling in top of voice. The reason, and I want to be very clear, the reason she was upset, it don't look good. You asked a question, I heard everything you said, I wasn't even planning on coming. But I want you to think about this. I've known you since you've been on council. My wife ran against you, and she got on by the same time you became a councilman. How do it look when you said, well, not one time, but twice, watch who they choose, who they pick? You never said that before. I know you very well. You came to my church. Heartfelt moment, so I know your heart is right, but when you look, she don't know you like that, so when you said something like that, watch who they choose. If you never said that before, like you talking about Roger and Councilman Corn, same thing. You never did that before, not once. So watch who they pick on Bida, outside his influences. Well, one doggone reason Jamal had to get that bigger campaign because she was running against so much obstruction, and she had to. This don't mean that she got outside influence. And I know Trace Arnold, Dawn Show didn't get no outside influence. I know for a fact. Now, when it comes to the employee bonuses, anything, one thing, I've been here 45 years. I've been in the game. My wife been in the game, doing things continuous. Even when the mayor tried her best to do dirty things, underhanded things to Sabrina. We continue, and you know, Ken knows. He said no, he knows what I'm talking about, and she knows too. I was challenged any time for slander. That's not slander, it's a fact. She did some underhanded, dirty stuff to my wife, but I ain't up here attacking her. Don't need to, because God has blessed us to continue on no matter what. When she had to read, when Sabrina and I both got the Georgia citizenship about back, it was a Republican. It says it all. Don't have to say anything. But you got to ask yourself why Beulah was upset. She was hurt. Not that she was just yelling because she want to call you a racist, but you have to ask the question, why? Why did you say, you never said that before? You can't tell me you have because you haven't. So I just want to explain. That's why I came up here, not to attack Ken, Bianca, you. I came up here to give some kind of reason and understanding why she might have felt that way. Not just kind of out of act. That's not who she is. I know her. And then, like I said, I've been 45 years. I've been involved with politics all along. I maybe shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it. You can do a consent because you did it with me over a good amount of money over the phone. You, Jack, Joe, and I don't know who the council was at the time. You did it over the phone. So you can do a consent. For a fact. That's a fact. I know. Because it was done. It wasn't an emergency. It was something going on with the project over there when I had the contract over that big contract over there on the school. Those are facts. We want to talk about facts. Those are facts. So when someone comes up while people yelling or screaming or showing emotion, not just necessarily saying that you're a racist, because you're not, but it's a reason why. And I kept asking myself why I got up and jumped up here. I was doing some painting. Why would Ambrose keep saying that? He done said it once, okay. Maybe he just saying watch it because see who they picked, but he said it twice. He saw late text up one night to alarm people. My cousin Sherry, Randy's wife, come up here. That's my cousin's wife. I used to watch that young man. I don't know his wife very well, but that's my cousin. Jonas Jennings, who you talk about, is my cousin, who my father raised his grandmother, and his grandmother is my aunt. So all those things, when the kids kept swarming around, I said, well, let me come up here. I don't need a pat on my back to say what we are doing in this community. God knows, and the people know, and the children knows. Kenya came out several times and supported us, and I appreciate it. I really do. Like I said this before, I didn't run against support against. You heard me say this even with Jack when you was out with Jack and we was campaigning. I went against Bianca. I was supporting Jack. I wasn't against you. You didn't ask me for my support. I'm saying public. You did not ask me for my support. When you didn't ask me for my support, Tracy did. So I got out there and supported her. But I said to you, I said to you probably, I said public, I didn't let anyone on our campaign say anything negativity about you or went out. You never heard Rex Willis wasn't associated with anything negative about Ken Allen, because I respect you and your wife and your family. Yeah, but we worked hard to win, yes, but nothing underhanded or dirty in any kind of way, period. So I just wanted to say that publicly and be clear about that. But when I hear people coming up, talking about the mayor this, mayor that, it really just amazed me. It amazed me to really see, before Bianca became mayor, like I said, I've been here. I know all the politicians, the mayors, police chiefs. I never did hear anything. Bianca, the only thing I know about Bianca did is when we helped God apart, and Bianca, and she didn't, I found out later, Bianca didn't want Sabrina's name when she was over there at Main Street over there, when they needed Sabrina help to get one of the playgrounds, because Sabrina got 3 playgrounds through Kaboom, and she knew about it. But she didn't want Sabrina's name on it. But even after all that, we stayed true to who we are. And Mayor, I'm saying to you publicly, I don't have anything against you or for you. I really, truly don't. But, and I'm not going to be coming up every council meeting because the things changing and want to talk about you. I know you, you know you. I've never lied on you. I told the truth. But from the time you got on, you had a campaign to go after Sabrina Willis. And that's the truth. But that's fine. We've moved on. But for people out there looking and watching, it's not a lie, it's the truth. But we have continued on and being who we are. And I'm not against Ken, I'm not against Ambrose. Everything I've said is the honest God truth. But I want the city to move forward. Any kind of way that I can help, and I know I'm profit. We already do a food bank here. I want anyone that definitely need toys that cannot do it, call Sabrina. We're Favor House. We will help anyone desperately need some gift cards. We will help with that. Like we've been doing. We're going to help instead of talk about it and whine about it and cry about it. We're going to do something about it. Because the employees do need a bonus. I'm not going to come up here because I know Joe and Roger said they don't. They do. I don't know why they're not here. And I'm not just to make assumptions of the reason why they're not. But I will say this, the employees need the bonus. But anyone definitely that needs some assistance, call Sabrina 678-760-2159. We will help with food, if they need coats, or whatever they need. They cannot wait till, if they don't get it done, I heard said the 15th, if they don't get it done then, definitely Favor House would definitely assist and help. I'm not just talking, because we've been doing it. So, thank you for your time. And something was said earlier, Winston, when you got attacked last week, I'm not asking you, this not a council meeting, this a community meeting. So, you know, out of courtesy, I came up and said something to the city manager. But I remember last week when the pastor came up, he had spoken, then Ambrose started talking. So I'm glad the mayor did hold the same thing that she did then. She let them came back and speak. So I do appreciate you staying true to that. But thank you very much, and I do wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Again, if anyone definitely needs assistance, they cannot wait. If they don't get their bonus on the 15th, get it approved, I will assist, Favor House will assist any way we can to help your Christmas go through. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilmember Clay, anything to add?
I'm done. I'll say one thing. I don't know what this 15th or 18th or whatever date is.
No idea.
I have no knowledge of, I'm not planning any more meetings for the year. We don't have any more meetings scheduled for the year. Is there a meeting floating around that I don't know about, City Manager?
I'm not aware either. I have seen a reference, and I can't even cite who it came from, of some special meeting after a certain date, and it did seem like it said the 15th. But other than that, I have no clue.
So if there were something floating around, why after a certain date? What's magical about that date? Why not tonight? Why not tomorrow night? Why after a certain date?
Why not last week?
It's not what?
Why not last week?
Councilmember Allen?
First of all, I'm going to start off with a positive note. It was great seeing the kids here tonight. It shows that College Park does have a lot of good recreation programs going on. So, you know, thank you very much. I've also heard about meetings that are possibly or maybe, or we would have a meeting on a certain date if things were changed and we only could vote on this or we could only vote on that. Can one council make a consensus that binds a brand new council coming into office? In other words, could we make a consensus and have a completely different council vote on that after the first part of the year and ratify it? I mean, all the ones that I've seen, we have approved something by consensus and it was voted on by the same council. If you have one council making a decision and asking another council to ratify that, I don't know if you can even do that. Can you do that? I think it has to be the same council.
That's probably right, but I mean, it would, because technically there are a lot of matters that a new council would consider, and those members are going to have to vote on matters that originated prior to the commencement of their term. So I don't believe there's an absolute prohibition on a new council member voting on a matter that predates their term of office. However, the precise issue that you raise as relates to a consensus given by an outgoing council member that a new council member is asked to ratify is a closer question.
Yes. Because I notice it's been floating around. There have been several comments. And I take responsibility for not going in that direction. Because there's nothing that's more basic to me. Throwing around the word consensus and making calls to council, particularly when there are scheduled meetings, multiple scheduled meetings, and I don't care who was asking. It could have been the three of you up there. Neither one of you did. But as city manager, I stand by my decision. I'm the one who made the recommendation to give the bonuses. Expected to get that approval on November 20th, and then November 27th, and then December 4th. And I'd welcome the opportunity tomorrow or Wednesday. But for the city manager, because this would be an issue of hundreds of thousands of dollars that has not been authorized by the council in the budget that you approved for July 1. And it's not only a matter of a consensus that would bind a new council. The binding in this instance would be the spending of money that was never authorized by mayor and council. So let there be no doubt from this city manager's strong belief, principled belief. I absolutely don't have the authority. Now, if I thought on November 20th or November 21st, with another meeting of the current council coming up, that there would be a quorum, that makes all the difference in the world. But it's been made pretty clear that more than likely we would not have a quorum before the end of this year. So I stand by, and whatever that brings, but you've got a principled manager who stands on his beliefs.
With that being said, I was here ready to make a decision 3 weeks ago. I was here last week ready to make a decision on a lot of different issues, including the budget. I was willing to talk about the budget. Councilman Carnes and I have talked about the budget about different issues many times. We can talk. People can talk. I've been here. I'm here this week to make that decision. And I can tell you right now, unless there's some catastrophic train crash or airplane crash, I will not be here at any other council meeting after 3 chances. But first of all, I'd like to thank a lot of people, especially the board members, mayor and council, all the citizens that call me every single day with issues. I want to thank them for their willingness to call and us work through the problems. I got a call this morning at 4 o'clock in the morning about a fire. Wasn't even my ward. But they were talking about it, so I went over. And I found out, yeah, there was a fire. A gentleman died from smoke inhalation at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I found out that we have some of the best employees in the fire department that I've ever seen. They don't stop to ask questions. Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? They come in, they're focused, they do their job, and they took care of business. Yes, a person lost their life, but the person died from smoke inhalation, which is a tragedy. But we have got the best city manager that I've seen. We've got the best department heads that I've seen while I've been in the city. And I've been involved in different boards, and I've talked with a lot of different department heads. And the group we have right now running the city, I think, is the best that I've ever seen, in my opinion. And I do know people, and I do know positions. I do know department heads. That's what I did at Delta Airlines. I traveled all over the world, and I hired people. I moved people from one position to another because they didn't fit. But I found out that when I worked, whether it be in Switzerland or Japan or Korea or Germany or France or wherever, the companies and the airports that did a good job were the ones that treated their employees right. And I'm telling you right now, we have not treated our employee right on the bonus, the Christmas bonus. And I apologize to our employees for that. Our people, no matter what department, go way beyond. I mean, who picks up trash twice a week? Who picks up leaves and sucks them up when they're blown to the curb? How many towns do that? How many times do you go by and you see our people and you stop to say hello and ask them if everything's okay, and their attitude is always great? I don't think I've met anybody that had a bad attitude at all. So we are very, very fortunate as citizens, which I will be shortly, to have the workers that we've got. City manager, we're very, very fortunate to have you. But if somebody makes the impression that I make a decision, whether, again, like Councilman Clay says, white, black, male, female, whatever the case, I read the detail every single week on the agenda, on the workshop, and on the executive summary. And I come in here early, either on Friday or Monday, and I get my questions answered. And I got them answered 2 weeks ago. And I thought of a few, and I got a few answered again last week. And Michelle, I think I've called you this morning on some questions on this week's. So I have read, I have understood, I have tried to make a decision on this. I would like to say that for all of us up here with spouses, with you down there, department heads with spouses and partners, they sacrifice a lot. And I'm looking forward to trying to cut down some of the list that my wife has made for me. But this is a great city. I want to thank these two people here next to me. Ambrose, you've taught me so much. And as I said, I've hired people all over the world. I've moved people from one city to another city all over the world. And the things you bring to this council, things that you research and that you do, they're unparalleled. There's only one Ambrose Clay, and I applaud you for everything that you do. So I
you do every single day. So you have a lot going on. You've brought so much to the city, from Washington, D.C. to cities all over the state, new ideas, new thoughts, which have been good for the city. It's not good to stay stagnant. We do need to grow. We need to change. And you've done an awful lot of that, and I appreciate everything you've done for that. So, you know, there's an old song by George Strait. This is the time the cowboy rides away, and that's basically what I'm doing. And this will be the last council meeting that I'm at, unless there's a severe catastrophe. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Clay, Councilmember Allen, thank you both for your service. It has been an honor to serve with you and to work with you these last 4 years, and I sincerely appreciate everything that you've done. City Manager Hawthorne, thank you for being principled. Thank you for being the charter man. That's important. In my experience in this position, we have never, by consensus and without a public vote, let money go out the door that was not budgeted. That has not been my experience. And that is not something that, in my understanding, would allow us to comply with the Georgia Open Meetings Act. It would also not be something that would align with our duties and responsibilities under our charter. I wish things could be different, in that I wish our employees would receive a holiday bonus in 2023. I hope my incoming colleagues and my colleagues who are not here tonight will consider looking at that component of the budget amendment in 2024 and increasing it, because we have not seemed to hit the mark this year, in that our employees wait, and they will not, barring something I have not foreseen, receive a holiday incentive in 2023. It is deeply disappointing, and they are not deserving of that, because we know day in and day out they do so much for our city at every single turn. I was emailing Dr. Adediran yesterday as I had a conversation with a resident at the recycling center, and we both saw some deficiencies in the ways that the bins were set up, and people couldn't reach the recycling without having to navigate a bit of a hole that had some water in it because of the rain. Within an hour, it was fixed on a Sunday afternoon. The people who support this city step up all the time. Rain, sleet, snow, shine. They're outstanding. And it is such a privilege to watch them at work, to see everything that they do that is lauded, but then also unseen. And I will go to bat for them every day of the week. I will not break the law, though. And so we need a quorum. We need a quorum to have a meeting. We need a meeting to take action. And in the absence of that, we cannot vote on the budget amendment, of which that bonus is a component. It is sad, but it is our reality right now. I wish all of you a safe, peaceful holiday season. Thank you for your support. And I look forward to serving you in 2024 and beyond.